Dawson Knox had a breakout season in 2021, and he was already a good player, but he elevated his game and solidified himself as one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And on Wednesday, he agreed to a 4-year extension with $31 million guaranteed. So we're going to break down some of last year's film and talk about how important Dawson Knox is to the Bills' offense. Last year, Dawson Knox had 56 receptions on 80 targets for 685 yards and 11 touchdowns. All of those are career highs, and he ranked 3rd in EPA per target and 5th in yards gained versus man coverage. So he doesn't just sit down in the middle of zone coverage and rack up easy yards. He's one of the few tight ends that can consistently beat press man. And most of the value that an offense gets from the tight end position comes from using their personnel to create a numbers advantage. So if the Bills are in 10 personnel, meaning 1 running back, 4 receivers, and 0 tight ends, and they bring Dawson Knox onto the field, the defense is likely to respond with another linebacker because they need to get into heavier personnel and be more effective defending the run. And so someone like Cole Holcomb is going to be no match for him on the outside. And a lot of tight ends get described as being too fast for linebackers and too big for defensive backs. That absolutely applies with Dawson Knox. So right here, the Jets put a slot cornerback on him, and when Knox gets matched up with defensive backs, he does a great job of using his size to his advantage. Instead of trying to play the defensive back's game and dance around at the line of scrimmage and waste time and just move around laterally, he makes sure that whatever he's doing, he's getting upfield, because if he doesn't get around the defensive back, he can just run through him. And he also does a great job of keeping his hands up high and active so that he's ready to use them if he needs to, and he's also protecting his chest from a jam. Right here, he gets press coverage from Daniel Sorensen, does a good job creating some separation. Josh Allen gets pressured, so he doesn't see him when he initially gets open, but he does a great job adjusting his route for the scramble drill. Dawson Knox actually led all tight ends in the NFL last season in yards gained from broken plays. And that might seem like a sort of fluky statistic, but the ability to adjust your route on the fly and be aware of where the quarterback is in the pocket, that's something that not all receivers and tight ends have, so Josh Allen really trusts him in those situations. Right here, the Bills are running play action boot, and you can just see how crisp this route break is. Marshawn Lattimore is an all-pro corner, but Dawson Knox breaks his ankles. Dawson Knox's only real weakness as a receiver is drops. He has 19 over his career, and he did have a career low drop percentage of 9.7% last season, but that was still 6th highest among tight ends in the NFL. And he's more than cut that in half since his rookie season, so I would definitely say he's progressing in that area, but it's still something that he needs to work on. And I'm actually optimistic that we'll continue to see some of that improvement, because if you actually watch the tape, Dawson Knox has really good ball skills. Last season, he ranked 11th in contested catch rate, and he leads all tight ends in spectacular catches over the last 3 seasons. So you see the flashes, he just needs to clean up the focus drops. And Dawson Knox is also a really solid run blocker. So he's not someone that just lines up in the slot all the time and gets listed as a tight end on the team's website, but he doesn't ever actually do any blocking. Right here, you see him pushing Christian Barmore down the field. And then I do have to do a content warning for this because this is a very cowardly block that should have no part in our game. But the Bills are running split zone here. Great job clearing out the way for the cutback lane. He's a true Y tight end, and he's not someone where if he's your tight end 1, you really need a blocking specialist as your tight end 2. Overall, he's one of the most well-rounded tight ends in the league, and it was a no-brainer for the Bills to re-sign him.